Today I'm going to be reviewing an album by a band I'd never heard of. They just happened to be in my inbox as a promo. I just happened to listen to it and I thought to myself, why not? There wasn't much else coming out today and I probably need to be reviewing more underground bands anyway. The name of the band is Chronos Compulsion and the album is called Lawgiver. It was released on Avantgarde Music on July 11, 2025. The band is from Denver and there are 4 members. This is their debut full-length album. They also released an extended play a few years ago. It's basically lots of big crushing riffs, different rhythmic styles. They don't fall into one genre specifically, but they fall under the death metal umbrella. It's a mix of death doom, there's noise rock. It's hard to describe. I think that's why the label is called Avantgarde Music, but basically lots of big riffs, deep guttural vocals, guitar harmonics. I'll be talking about all of that as I go through the songs. The album has been several years in the making. It features a revised track from their 2021 extended play called Cursed and Decaying, and the song that was re-recorded is called Neolithic Meditations. And there are 8 new songs according to the band. They have also been playing these songs live for some time now. It's also a short album. There are 9 tracks, but the album was only 23 minutes long. Songs are mostly in the 2-minute range, the first one being a little over 1 minute and the longest being 4 minutes. But otherwise, it's an album that goes by pretty quick. The opening track is called Obligate Condition. It's the shortest track. It's 1 minute and 16 seconds. Takes off with pounding drums, pummeling guitar riffs, and it just beats you down with deep guttural vocals, and they throw in a little isolated bass guitar lick in the middle, but otherwise it's just this big wall of massive sound that comes at you like an angry gorilla. After this is the song Maladapt, which is this very fuzzy sound in the guitar tone. It comes at you like a starving wolf in the snowstorm with the distortion, with more of these deep guttural vocals. The vocals are more reminiscent of death doom, but there were a few moments where the drums pick up the pace. There are lots of tempo changes going on here. There are also lots of those classic old school death metal style guitar riffs, as well as guitar harmonics. It's a short song, but there is a lot going on. Then by the 3rd track, we have Gyre of Decaying Filth, which starts with a short bass guitar lick. More of those old school death metal guitar riffs with pounding drums, as well as a sick, brutal, and vile guttural death metal style vocals that come at you like a rabid dog off his leash. This one also has more of that death doom sound, as the vocals seem to be a little more drawn out, but the guitars also have a little bit of power in them. There are lots of chugging guitars and hard driving drum beats, and at times they play dissonant guitar chords where they just let the distortion ring. Then we get to track number 4 called Ancestral Remains, and this one sounds like old school death metal on the surface. You got those whirlwind guitar riffs. And they pick up the pace a little bit. There's more of an urgency in the rhythm section, but things move a little faster. But at the same time, they like to apply tempo changes. So there are times when they just play these sustained guitar chords and they let out this big wave of distortion. They also deliver these deeper guttural vocals. And there are also parts of the song where the guitar sounds more dense, almost delving into black metal territory. Now we're in the middle of the album. Track number 5 is called Sun Devouring Wound. This one's very different because it's mostly an isolated bass guitar with a few drum hits here and there. It creates this dark and creepy atmosphere, and it slowly builds up because they bring in the guitar about after 30 seconds or so, but at first they're playing these long sustained guitar chords, so they're really leaning into that death doom sound in this one because everything is slowed down and they're taking time just to let you feel the distortion coming out of the amplifiers. As the song progresses, they pick up the pace and it comes at you like a charging bull with blood in its eyes. You can hear faster drum beats at times, but otherwise it's mostly a slow moving song. The next song is the one called Neolithic Meditations, which is the one I believe is a re-recording, and it's also the longest song, which comes in at 4 minutes that I spoke about before. This one has a lot of distortion, a lot of dissonance. The guitars have this fuzzier tone, and it's more of an old school death metal song with some faster rhythms and more powerful drumming. This one is filled with those old school guitar riffs that sound like classic death metal. There are also more of those chugging guitars, and I think you could tell there's a difference between this song and some of the others. This seems to have more of a throwback sound, but at the same time they're adding more things, they're adding more layers of sound, lots of dissonant elements, and all these sounds come at you like a swarm of hornets out for revenge. But then by the end of the song, they start to slow things down, and it goes more in that death doom type of direction where they take more time and just let that fuzzy sound take over. As we get towards the end of the album, the next song is called Mortal Dissolution, and this is some old school death metal. It's faster, it's heavier, you got the pounding drums and the complex guitar riffs and more of those deep guttural vocals that come at you like a crocodile breaking the surface. It has lots of energy and they're bringing back a little more speed. And for the first time I heard a different vocal style, which is more of that black metal screaming, so that was a cool change of pace. I like when bands try different stuff and they add in these different sounds and stuff. The penultimate track is the title track, Lawgiver. This is more old school death metal. You got those old school whirlwind guitar riffs and powerful drums and deep guttural vocals. It just comes at you like a demon let loose from the pit, and they play around with tempo changes. There are times when they just let the guitar chords sound out, and it just takes over with that very fuzzy sound that this band is known for. Thought it was pretty cool. Some of the riffs are a little slower, some are faster. So they seem to be incorporating lots of different ideas into their songs, which is impressive considering that they all have short run times. The track also has a guitar solo, which is not something that the band does a lot. I think they like to focus more on creating this big wall of sound as opposed to just trying to be flashy, or in other words, they are more of a riff-based type of sound. The final track is called Incursion of Defiant Chaos. This is the second longest song at 3 minutes and 48 seconds. It has lots of energy. I think they wanted to have one of the heavier and more powerful songs at the end. But like always, it's filled with old school guitar riffs. I like the vocals. It's not just deep guttural vocals. I heard some of those screams, which are always good to hear. I like variety, as I said before, and it's not just a lot of fuzz, a lot of distortion, a lot of dissonance, and some powerful drums that sound like Godzilla stomping through the city. There's also some lead guitar. There's actually another guitar solo where it sounds kind of weird. Finally, as the song reaches the 2 minute and 31 second mark, it gets quiet and you hear this type of white noise. Sounds like static or something of that nature. Then the noise starts to sound like old computer noises, like the sound you used to hear when you had dial-up internet. That pretty much goes on until the end of the song. In conclusion, it's some pretty decent death metal. It's not just straightforward death metal. They have a lot of dissonance and distortion, and they get a little experimental. It's also my first time listening to this, so I thought it was pretty cool. Let me know in the comments if you know this band. Maybe you're familiar with their first extended play. But if not, my score is 8 out of 10. I think it's just an enjoyable, quick type of album to put on when you need some heavy music. And that's all. Check out this video right here where I did the best metal albums of June, and I think that will be a good one for you to watch next. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Please like this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you have not already. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and retro reviews and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.